Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're going to tackle a very interesting topic that's been gaining attention in the Android development community. With the release of Android 14, many developers have been struggling to play sounds when their app receives FCM notifications while running in the background. This is an essential feature for many apps, especially those that rely on real-time updates or alerts. In this video, we'll delve into the world of Android 14 and explore how you can play sounds when receiving FCM notifications, even when your app is not in the foreground. We'll break down the steps involved in achieving this functionality and provide a clear explanation of the concepts and logic behind it. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of how to implement sound playback for background FCM notifications on Android 14. To understand how to play sounds when receiving FCM notifications on Android 14, we need to start with the basics. But first, let's look at what happens when an app receives an FCM notification. The Firebase Cloud messaging service sends a push notification to the device, which is then handled by the operating system. When your app is in the foreground, playing sounds is relatively straightforward. However, things get more complicated when your app is running in the background. This is because Android 14 has introduced new restrictions on what apps can do while running in the background. To play sounds when receiving FCM notifications on Android 14, you'll need to use a combination of Firebase Cloud, messaging, and Android's built-in notification system. When an FCM notification is received, your app needs to create a notification channel with the correct settings to enable sound playback. The key concept here is the use of a foreground service. A foreground service is a type of service that can run in the foreground and perform tasks that require more resources or user interaction. In this case, we'll use a foreground service to play the sound when an FCM notification is received. When an FCM notification arrives, your app will start a foreground service, which will then create a notification with the correct settings to enable sound playback. This notification will be displayed to the user, and when they interact with it, the sound will be played. To make this work seamlessly, you'll need to ensure that your app has the necessary permissions and is configured correctly in the Firebase console. You'll also need to handle cases where the user dismisses the notification or puts their device into Do Not Disturb mode. So, what are the main points to take away from this discussion first? Playing sounds when receiving FCM notifications on Android 14 requires a combination of Firebase Cloud, messaging, and Android's built-in notification system. Second, you'll need to use a foreground service to play the sound when an FCM notification is received. It's also essential to remember that your app needs to have the necessary permissions and be configured correctly in the Firebase console. Finally, don't forget to handle cases where the user dismisses the notification or puts their device into Do Not Disturb mode. That's it for today's video on playing sounds when receiving FCM notifications on Android 14. We hope you found this explanation helpful and informative. If you have any questions or need further clarification, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content on Android development and other related topics. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.